Alright, so this is going to be another movie review. Actually, not. This is going to be a bonus features DVD review. Again? I watched all these movies back in 2012. I forgot to order the bonus features until after I actually saw the movies. So that's why I'm doing them now. I'm trying to play catch up, man. This is about a movie called Two-Lane Blacktop. Kristofferson. Kris Kristofferson. It's a tongue twister. Has an interview in this one. He was actually in the running for the lead role. He almost beat out he almost beat out James Taylor. Sorry, I can't think straight. But he was too old. He was in his 30s. They wanted a 20-something dude, so they hired 23-year-old James Taylor, I guess. His only movie, by the way. James Taylor is such a perfectionist. And he's so self-conscious that he refuses to watch himself or listen to himself out of fear that he might have made a mistake or whatever. So there's that. Kristofferson makes a nice analogy. He compares this flick to La Strada, which is another great flick. I'd even go further and compare it to Thunder Road. Irony of ironies. Robert Mitchum's son, James Mitchum, is in both this and Thunder Road. Are you kidding me? Man, for a no-name actor, he's been in a couple of damn good flicks, I might add. So there's that also. It's basically about, there's not much plot or storyline, and the director goes into detail. It's basically a movie about, these two hippie freeloader guys. They just live off of making bets on races and stuff. I guess that's how they pay for their gas and their food. They look like they've been wearing the same clothes for weeks. Especially Dennis Wilson, the Beach Boys drummer. He plays the mechanic, of course. And there's some hippie girl who's into the Beatles. Like, she's only been in 3 movies, and then she died in 1979 prematurely. Don't ask me how. Actually, James Taylor is the only surviving guy, unless you include Harry Dean Stanton. I don't know if he's still alive, but I know Dennis Wilson and that hippie chick are gone. So the director goes into detail in the beginning. They go on a field trip to Needles where the filming occurred. I guess that's where they changed tires or something at some park over there. Warren Oates is also in this movie, by the way. Another great actor who's in Dixie Dynamite, among other movies. The head of Alfredo Garcia, or whatever that Peckinpah movie is. The director even mentions that after he made this flick, he got tons of offers, but he turned down a movie that was given to Peckinpah because he couldn't rewrite the script. I guess his specialty is rewriting scripts for people. He looks like a cross between Albert Einstein and Art Garfunkel. But I will say he is quite a genius. I love this flick. It's brutal. It's just about one thing, and that's racing cars across the country with Warren Oates. Not for the sake of winning a prize, he says, but just for to compete with yourself, I guess. And he talks about some politics that were going on in Universal Studios. I guess they compromised for less than $1 million budget, and he made it for like way less than 1 million. It was shot in like 6 weeks, I guess, and Warren Oates was driving his Winnebago across the country. James Taylor said he did mescaline, and they went up to Arizona and New Mexico looking at the starlights or whatever John Denver was talking about, Rocky Mountain High, I guess. So there's that. They talk about Joni Mitchell a lot because I guess James Taylor was having an affair with Joni Mitchell, the side business. So it kind of reminds me of the kind of music that my mom listened to at that time when I was in preschool, the shitty kind of folk music. Kris Kristofferson is more of a country singer, though. And that Ballad of Bobby McGee song, or whatever it's called, the country version is playing in Warren Oates' car during the movie. I didn't even notice that. But I thought it was Janis Joplin's song. I guess not. Anyways, yeah, so it's pretty cool to hear the director talk about the internal politics within Universal Studios. I guess the head of Universal was kind of a social conservative guy. He thought it was a hippie movie, but it wasn't. It wasn't really in any particular genre or political philosophy per se. I think it was more libertarian, and in the sense that it wasn't question authority as much as it was fuck authority. Even Kris Kristofferson says that the movie was subversive in that respect. And it's interesting, the director mentions he tried to get it to the Moscow Film Festival. They declined because it was so anti-authoritarian. They're afraid that people were going to rise up and overthrow the government like 20 years earlier than what happened with the collapse of the Soviet Union in the early 90s. I don't know why they were worried so much. I mean, Brezhnev was getting foreign aid from the U.S. at that time. What else can I say about this documentary? I guess the reason to watch. Well, there are three main reasons to watch. This is Criterion Collection, so you can expect quality stuff, unless it's Godard stuff. But they even talk about Godard and Breathless in this movie. Oh yeah, there are four reasons to watch. Okay. Anyways, I don't know why Godard and Breathless keep coming up in French New Wave, but I guess the producers thought it was trendy, so they thought this hippie director was into folk music and country music. They thought he was going to they thought he was going to continue the tradition of Godard, but this movie is way better than Godard stuff, in my opinion. Same goes with Fellini's La Strada and even Thunder Road, which is a U.S. flick. So there was this internal struggle in Universal Studios between the social conservative Big Kahuna, the president of Universal Studios, and the vice president. The vice president wanted to do 5 kind of independent art house movies like this one. I forget the names of the other 5, but the director has them memorized. And the Big Kahuna won. He refused to market the movie just to prove that the VP was wrong. But it's interesting because they have all kinds of press cards and stuff. So there was some kind of marketing. Even one of the producers said they spent $200,000 on marketing. And the movie gets a quite high rating on IMDb. I think it gets a 7.3, if I'm not mistaken, out of 10. I think it should be even higher. I don't know why movies like Pulp Fiction get 8.9 or something ridiculous. And then this movie gets a 7.3. So I would say this movie is apolitical. I guess it could offend anyone, really, even though it doesn't have much in the way of offensive material. It's mostly been, driving around in a car. And the acting performances are just incredible. I love James Taylor, his kind of stoic look throughout the whole movie. Same with Brian Wilson. He just kind of, it's like both of them are in tune with a totally different universe of this 1955 Chevy that they're driving. And so if you love the movie, you're going to love the bonus features for the reason of the field trip to Needles, interview with James Taylor. Then they got a super hot babe in a tank top interviewing one of the producers, I guess. Yeah, they should just let her narrate or do all the interviews instead of the director. Some other people that I didn't recognize. Then there's the trailer, of course, which I've posted in the description box for your viewing pleasure. So overall, the disc is 5 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. Just like the Netflix review says, if you like the movie, you're going to love the bonus features too. James Taylor in a mustache sings one of his songs. I don't know if it's off his second album or his first album. Maybe he just wrote it on the fly. But I don't even remember which song he's famous for. I See Fire and I See Rain, something like that. Singer-songwriter from the 70s. Used to play on AM radio all the time. My mom's VW Bug. So I guess that's the song that he's most famous for. I'm not familiar with any of his other songs. And they talk about Bob Dylan a lot. Especially when they're talking with Kristofferson, the director is. I get the feeling that Kris Kristofferson is a left liberal, but I could be wrong because he likes to criticize Republican presidents for Iran Contra or the Iraq War. But I bet you when the Democrat does the same thing, like illegal activities or useless wars, these people, they pay no never mind. They only protest when there's a Republican president in power. How do I know this? Because I see them on the streets of San Francisco. And then when Obama became president, they suddenly disappeared. So I suspect that could be the case with Kris Kristofferson. I don't want to prejudge him or be prejudiced like the director was, but obviously he does look silly for a 30-something-year-old teenager in a film. You see that time and time again, though, like with Girls Town, for instance, or some of those juvenile delinquency movies from the 1950s. Was it Girls Town? I'm trying to think of the other one. Reform School Girls. And there's another one from the 80s that I can't remember. But that's the reason Kris Kristofferson didn't get the job. But he found work in other movies, so I guess he's not suing the guy for age discrimination. The director is a professor of film at UCLA. Wish I could have attended that class when I was in college. If I actually knew what I wanted to do, which was to become a film director. So yeah, maybe I'll do it when I'm like 80 years old. But anyways, what else can I say about this disc? There's so many fascinating tidbits and cool features on here. I can't say enough good things about it. Definitely 5 out of 5 stars, so check it out. Highly recommended. Laters.